Night comes quietly. It doesn't knock on your door or ask permission to enter. It simply arrives, spreading itself over the sky, dimming the noise of the world, slowing every heartbeat, softening every thought you tried to outrun during the day. Some nights feel like a warm blanket. Others feel like a weight pressing on your chest. Some nights bring peace. Others bring memories you were never ready to face. And some nights feel lonely. Not because you are alone, but because you feel unseen, unheard, and unheld by anything around you. But there is something you must remember, something that changes what night truly means for a believer. Allah never sleeps. He never forgets you. He never leaves your heart unattended. He never abandons the one who whispers in fear, or cries into their pillow, or stares at the ceiling searching for answers they cannot articulate. You may collapse into your bed exhausted, but Allah does not. You may drift in and out of dreams, weighed down by sorrow or confusion, but Allah does not. The world may shut its doors. The night may pull its curtain, but Allah does not. He says, in His own words, "Do not worry. I am with you." And this is the beginning of comfort, the reminder that your Lord is awake when you are not, guiding what you cannot control, protecting what you cannot see, and righting what you do not yet understand. The heart that carries too much. Every human being, at some point, carries too much. Too much fear, too much guilt, too much regret, too much responsibility, too much they cannot explain to another soul. You carry memories from years ago. You carry words you wish you never said. You carry prayers you feel embarrassed to repeat. You carry hopes that feel too fragile to mention. You carry wounds that no one else noticed. You carry burdens that bend your back and tighten your chest. And you wonder, how much more can I possibly hold? But here is a truth most people forget. You were never meant to carry everything alone. The world taught you to be strong. Life forced you to be silent. People expected you to endure. But Allah never asked you to hold your pain without Him. He says, in meaning, call upon me, I will respond. Not, endure it alone. Not, pretend it doesn't hurt. Not, hide your pain so others stay comfortable. Instead, He invites you personally with tenderness, with mercy, and with a love deeper than anything the human heart can fully grasp. To come to Him with everything, your past, your fears, your doubts, your mistakes, your sins, your shame, your broken pieces, all of it. He is not like people. He never tires of hearing you. He never gets annoyed with your repetition. He never judges your weak. He never abandons you for something better. You cannot exhaust the one who created emotions. You cannot burden the one who carries the universe. You cannot overwhelm the one who knows every secret inside the human heart. So why do you keep carrying what was always meant to be handed over? Night is the time of release. There is a reason the quiet hours of the night hold such spiritual depth. The world sleeps. Your responsibilities pause. The noise of life lowers its voice. And suddenly, you are left with your own soul. The thoughts you drowned during the day rise to the surface. The emotions you avoided come knocking. The aches you silenced whisper their truth. Night is raw. Night is honest. Night reveals what daylight hides. But night is also healing, because it is the moment Allah gently calls you back to Him. Not to question you, not to expose you, not to shame you, but to open a space inside your chest so you can breathe again. It is during these hours that the believer whispers the simplest of words, "My Lord, I am tired." And Allah in meaning replies, "I am here." You are not expected to be strong 24 hours a day. You are not required to be composed every minute. You are not commanded to smile while your heart trembles. You are only asked to turn to Him, especially when the rest of the world sleeps, because it is then that Allah rewrites destinies, lifts grief, forgives sins, heals hearts, and transforms lives in ways you could never imagine during the rush of daylight. Your tears are seen, even when they fall in darkness. There are tears you never let anyone see, tears you wipe away before someone enters the room, tears you hide by turning your face to the wall, tears you shed under the blanket so no one hears, tears that fall quietly, soaking the pillow without making a sound. And you think they disappear into nothingness, but they don't. Every tear you shed is seen. Every heartbreak you carry is known. Every silent prayer you whisper is written. Every moment you bite back your pain is counted. You are not invisible, even when you feel unseen by the people around you. Allah says, in meaning, He knows what the soul whispers. Meaning, He knows the thoughts you don't want to admit. He knows the fears you can't put into words. He knows the sorrow you told no one about. He knows the part of your heart you're scared to face. And that means something beautiful. You do not need perfect language to talk to Him. You do not need formal speeches. You do not need poetic sentences. You do not need to be composed. You only need to be real, honest, human, humble, because Allah responds not to the beauty of your words, but to the sincerity of your heart. Your tears at night are not a sign of weakness. They are a form of worship, a quiet conversation between your soul and the one who created it. And sometimes, crying before Allah is more healing than anything this world can offer. The night that doesn't end, and the one who ends it. There are seasons in life when night feels endless, when you wake up tired, fall asleep exhausted, and still feel unrested, when you don't remember the last time your heart felt light, when days blur into each other, when you carry the same worries from morning to dusk to midnight. These are the moments when you begin to wonder, will relief ever come? Will this chapter ever close? Will my heart ever heal? And the answer whispered through revelation, through creation, through every sunrise that has ever appeared is this: no night lasts forever, not even the one inside your chest. Just as Allah brings the dawn after every darkness, He brings clarity after confusion. He brings healing after heartbreak. He brings relief after hardship. He brings ease after every trial. And when He does, you often look back and realize you were not breaking. You were being softened. You were being reshaped. You were being guided. You were being protected from paths you could not see. You were being prepared for blessings you were not yet ready to carry. Your night is not a punishment. It is a transition, a doorway, a quiet unfolding of something Allah is preparing within you. And while you sleep, He continues working on your behalf. Sleep, a symbol of trust. To close your eyes at night is an act of vulnerability. You let go of control. You surrender your awareness. You entrust your body and soul to something beyond yourself. And Allah reminds you, through the very design of sleep, You were never meant to be in control of everything. You plan. He plans. You try. He guides. You worry. He protects. You sleep. He never does. Your weakness at night is not a flaw. It is a reminder that your Creator is the one sustaining your breath, your heart, your safety, and your tomorrow. If Allah can guard you when you are unconscious, can He not guard you when you are awake? If He protects you when you are defenseless, can He not protect you when you feel overwhelmed? If He keeps your heart beating without your command, can He not carry the burdens weighing it down? Sleep is not just rest. Sleep is a lesson. You are held even when you are unaware. You are protected even when you cannot see. You are loved even when you forget your worth. You are cared for even when you feel alone. And the one who guards your sleep can surely guard your life, the whisper that changes everything. There is a moment, quiet, gentle, unnoticed by others, when a believer finally whispers, "My Lord, I leave it to you." This is the moment everything begins to shift. Not always in your circumstances, not immediately in your situation, but inside your heart. This whisper softens what was hard, silences what was loud, lifts what was heavy, and fills what was empty. Because surrender is not defeat. Surrender is freedom. You stop wrestling with what you cannot control. You stop blaming yourself for things you could not change. You stop carrying burdens that were never yours to begin with. You give them to the one who can handle them, the one who already knows their weight. And this surrender is the first step to peace. A peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. A peace that stays even when life becomes unpredictable. A peace that flows through your heart like a river at night. And this is where we begin to understand the heart of the believer. There are moments in life when even breathing feels like a task, when the heart grows heavy, when thoughts thicken like clouds about to rain, when you feel the world expects you to stand strong, while your soul quietly trembles inside. In such moments, you may hide your exhaustion from people. You may smile. You may say, "I'm fine." You may carry the burden like a silent storm behind your ribs. But Allah sees it all. The truth is simple and profound. Not a single burden sits in your chest except that Allah already knows its weight. He knows the heartbreak you don't speak of. He knows the disappointment you pretend didn't affect you. He knows the longings you tried to bury. He knows the prayers you whisper only when the night is dark enough to conceal your tears. He knows the thoughts you're afraid to admit even to yourself. Allah says in the Quran, He knows what the hearts conceal. You don't need to articulate every struggle to Him. You don't need the right words. You don't need eloquence. Your silence is heard. Your sigh is understood. Your tears are seen. Your pain is recorded. Your effort is not ignored. Allah does not need explanations. He does not require you to make your struggle sound neat and organized. He does not judge your weakness. He does not mock your limitations. He is the one who created the fragility of your heart. He is the one who knows how quickly you break, how deeply you feel, and how quietly you endure. And so, when the night falls and you find yourself overwhelmed, remember this one truth. Allah knows the weight you carry better than you do, the weight beyond words. There are burdens that cannot be described, disappointments that left you numb, worries that you've been carrying for years, a future that feels unclear, a past that feels unresolved, a heart that feels tired of trying. Some pains are too deep to speak. Some fears are too painful to name. Some struggles are too personal to share with anyone. But Allah says, we are closer to the human being than his jugular vein. He is closer to you than your breath, closer to you than your thoughts, closer to you than your own understanding of yourself. He knows the burden before you recognize it. He knows the reason before it unfolds. He knows the cure before the wound appears. Not a tear falls from your eye, except that Allah knew it would fall long before you did. Not a moment of pain reaches your heart, except that Allah already measured it precisely, with wisdom, with meaning, with mercy. This is not to say suffering is easy. This is not to minimize the weight you feel. This is not to pretend the nights are always gentle or the mornings always bright. No, this is to remind you that Allah knows. And there is a deep comfort in being fully known by the one who is entirely loving. The hidden battles no one sees. Think of the moments when you sat alone, overwhelmed by thoughts you couldn't explain. The world saw your smile. Allah saw your struggle. People saw you functioning. Allah saw the effort it took. People saw a calm face. Allah saw the storm behind it. People saw your achievements. Allah saw the nights you spent awake, battling anxiety, fighting fatigue, praying for strength. People saw you standing again. Allah saw how many times you almost stayed down. People may misunderstand you. Allah never does. People may judge you unfairly. Allah never will. People may forget what you've done for them. Allah counts every small act. People may not notice what you're going through. Allah records every step you take in patience. The world sees the surface. Allah sees the soul. And that is why laying your burdens before Him is not weakness, it is trust. Every burden has a purpose. We often ask, why me? Why this? Why now? How long? When will it get better? These questions rise from a heart struggling under the weight it carries. But Allah, the one who knows the unseen, responds through the Quran. Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. You may not feel strong, but Allah knows your capacity. Allah knows your breaking point, and He never crosses it. Sometimes the burden feels heavier simply because you are growing, because you are being prepared, because you are being strengthened in ways you cannot yet see. There are seeds planted inside you: patience, resilience, humility, trust. And they only bloom through rain, heavy rain, sometimes long rain, sometimes unexpected rain, but always purposeful. Allah never sends a hardship without a hidden treasure inside it. Sometimes you discover that treasure quickly. Sometimes it takes years. Sometimes you don't see it until the day you meet Him. But rest assured, nothing you carry is random. Nothing you carry is meaningless. Nothing you carry is forgotten. Your burden speaks a language only. Allah understands. Your tears speak. Your silence speaks. Your fatigue speaks. Your brokenness speaks. Your hope, no matter how small, speaks. Allah listens. Allah responds in gentle ways. A relief you didn't expect. A message that arrived at the right moment. A blessing you never thought you'd receive. A solution you didn't imagine. A peace that settles into your chest after a long night of turmoil. These are not coincidences. These are answers. Sometimes His answer is direct. Sometimes His answer is delayed. Sometimes his answer is simply the strength to continue, but he always answers. The heart that Allah does not forget. When you feel forgotten by the world, remember, Allah remembers you. When you feel unseen, remember Allah sees you. When you feel unheard, remember Allah hears your whispers even before they leave your tongue. When you feel alone, remember Allah is with you. He is with you in your sadness. He is with you in your fear. He is with you in your confusion. He is with you in your loneliness. He is with you in your exhaustion. You do not walk through life unaided. You do not suffer without support. You do not cry without comfort. You do not break without healing. You do not endure without reward. Let the weight bring you closer to Him. Sometimes Allah allows a burden to rest in your heart so that you turn back to Him. Not because He wants to hurt you, but because He misses your voice. Because He wants you nearer. Because He wants better for you. Because He wants to purify you. Because He wants to elevate you. Because He wants you to rely on Him more deeply than before. And so, the hardship becomes a bridge back to Him, a bridge to calmer nights, a bridge to wiser choices, a bridge to a soft, sincere heart. You may not realize it now, but the burden that weighs you down today may be the very thing that lifts you tomorrow. You are not meant to carry everything alone. Humans are not built to withstand endless emotional storms. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are not fragile for needing help. You are not failing because life feels heavy. You are simply human. And Allah created the human heart to lean, not on itself, but on Him. You are meant to ask. You are meant to depend. You are meant to seek His help. You are meant to release what you cannot manage. You are meant to say, Allah, I cannot do this without you. This is not defeat. This is surrender, the kind that heals. This is the surrender that brings peace. The surrender that lifts burdens. The surrender that opens doors. The surrender that softens grief. The surrender that restores hope. Tonight, let your heart rest. If you're carrying something heavy right now, place it gently before Allah. Tell Him, you know what is in my heart. You know what I fear. You know what I desire. You know what I cannot express. You know what weighs me down. Guide me, strengthen me, hold me, then breathe slowly, deeply, purposefully. Your heart has been tight for too long. Let it breathe. Allah knows the weight. He knows the cause. He knows the outcome. He knows the cure. And He will not let your burden remain forever. Every hardship has an exit. Every burden has a release. Every night has a dawn. And Allah is with you through all of it. Even now, even in this moment, even as you listen to these words. And this is where we begin to understand the heart of the believer. Night has a way of revealing what daylight hides. When the sun is out, the world is busy. People walk, talk, plan, insist, demand. Distractions fill the hours, noise fills the spaces. But when night falls, it's different. The streets become quiet. The world slows. The sky darkens. And suddenly, all the thoughts you avoided all day begin to surface. Night is when the mind speaks the loudest. Night is when the heart admits its fears. Night is when the soul feels exposed. And it is in the stillness of this overwhelming quiet that a believer feels something deeply humbling. I am so small. I am so vulnerable. I am so unguarded in my sleep. But then comes the comfort that reshapes the entire night. Allah never sleeps. Not for a moment. Not for a heartbeat. Not for the blink of an eye. He is the one who protects the whole universe while you lie asleep, unaware of your own breath. He guards you when you're awake. He guards you when you sleep. He guards you in the hours where your soul leaves your body and returns gently at his command. You are never unprotected. You are never abandoned. You are never left alone in the dark. When you are asleep, Allah is awake for you. Think about sleep for a moment. When the heart slows down, when the body goes limp, when the mind disconnects, when you no longer hear, think, or defend yourself, you cannot run. You cannot react. You cannot guard your own existence. You are in a state of complete vulnerability. And yet, you wake up every morning. Your heart beats without your permission. Your lungs breathe without your command. Your soul returns to your body without your effort. Why? Because Allah is awake. Allah is watching. Allah is protecting. Allah is sustaining. You sleep, but He does not. People rest. Angels rest. The world rests. But Allah never rests. He is the guardian who never tires, the protector who never blinks, the sustainer who never forgets, the watcher who never looks away, the one who holds the entire cosmos together while your eyes are closed. If you truly understood this, your nights would feel different. Safer, calmer. Sleep is a journey you do not take alone. Every night, something extraordinary happens, something we rarely think about. Your soul leaves your body. It travels to the unseen, to places the living cannot comprehend. It moves through realms where the rules of this world no longer apply. And yet, you wake up safely. Your soul returns to your body perfectly. Not early, not late, not lost, not misplaced. It returns exactly by the permission of Allah. This alone should humble the strongest person. This alone should comfort the saddest heart. Even your soul, the deepest part of you, cannot move without its command. How then could you ever be alone? How then could you ever doubt His protection? How then could you ever fear your nights? The night that lightens your burdens. There is a unique softness in the nighttime. The world becomes gentle. The noise fades. The heart becomes more honest. Your soul settles into a quieter rhythm. And in that stillness, Allah's care becomes clearer. Because your burdens feel heavier at night, but Allah's closeness feels stronger. Your worries feel louder at night, but Allah's mercy feels nearer. Your loneliness feels deeper at night, but Allah's presence feels more comforting. The night is not a time of fear for the believer. It is a time of intimacy with the one who never sleeps. And if you pay attention, you will notice something. The night is when Allah sends peace into the hearts of those who seek Him, not through noise, not through signs, not through sudden miracles, but through a quiet knowing, a subtle calm, a feeling that eases the chest, a whisper into the heart that says, "Do not fear. I am here. I am watching. I am protecting you. Rest. You are safe tonight." The one who never leaves his servant unwatched. Imagine a guard who protects a city. Eventually, he must sleep. Eventually, he must rest. Eventually, he must look away. Eventually, he must step aside. Human protection is temporary. Human watchfulness is limited. Human care is fragile. But Allah never rests. Allah never sleeps. Allah never turns away. Allah never leaves His servants unwatched. He protects you from dangers you never even noticed. Illnesses you didn't know approached you. Accidents that were redirected away from you. Hardships that were softened before they reached you. Losses that were prevented without your knowledge. If you could see the things Allah has protected you from, you would fall into prostration in gratitude every night. Most of His protection is invisible. Most of His mercy is silent. Most of His care unfolds behind the scenes. And every night as you sleep, He continues this care without pause. Angels stand guard while you sleep. You're never alone at night. In your home, in your room, at your bedside, angels are present. They record your deeds. They shield you. They pray for you. They protect you by Allah's command. They alternate shifts between day and night. They do not forget you. They do not abandon you. They do not neglect the responsibility Allah assigned to them. When you sleep in remembrance of Allah, when you sleep in a state of purity, when you entrust your soul to Him, the angels surround you with mercy. Your bed becomes a sanctuary. Your room becomes protected. Your night becomes blessed. Your dreams become lighter. Your sleep becomes healing. You are not sleeping alone. You are sleeping under the guardianship of the King of Kings, the comfort of acknowledging your powerlessness. There is something healing about admitting this truth. You cannot protect yourself. You cannot sustain yourself. You cannot guard your own soul. You cannot control the unseen. And yet, you are protected every night. You are sustained every moment. You are guarded every second. You are cared for every heartbeat. This is mercy. This is love. This is protection. This is divine tenderness. This is why believers rest peacefully at night, not because life is easy, but because Allah is awake. You don't need to be strong all the time. You don't need to be vigilant every hour. You don't need to guard your heart alone. Let yourself be held by the one who never sleeps. When fear visits you at night, sometimes the night brings more than tiredness. It brings fear. It brings anxiety. It brings memories that you've been trying to forget. It brings the heaviness you managed to escape during the day. The darkness may remind you of pain. The stillness may remind you of loss. The quiet may amplify your thoughts. But listen carefully. Allah never created a night without also creating a dawn. Fear does not last forever. Sorrows do not stretch endlessly. The heaviness you feel will not remain. The night always breaks. The sky always brightens. The soul always emerges. And through it all, Allah guards you. During your tears, during your whispers, during your silence, during your sleep, even in your deepest fear, you are protected. The one who stays awake so you can rest. What a beautiful mercy this is. You with your fragile heart. You with your restless mind. You with your tired soul. You with your scattered worries. Allah is watching. Allah is sustaining. Allah is guarding. Allah is keeping your heart beating as you sleep. You do not need to stay awake worrying. You do not need to fear the unknown. You do not need to carry the world on your chest. Lay your head down tonight with this truth. Allah does not sleep. Therefore, you can. Allah does not forget. Therefore, you can let go. Allah does not lose control. Therefore, you do not need to panic. Allah does not need rest. Therefore, you are safe when you rest. You can sleep in peace not because the world is gentle, but because Allah is powerful. You can sleep in comfort not because your life is perfect, but because Allah is perfect. You can sleep without fear not because you know the future, but because Allah controls the future. Tonight, surrender to His protection. Tonight, before you close your eyes, say within your heart, I trust you, Allah. I place my soul in your care. I sleep knowing you never sleep. I rest knowing you never rest. I am safe because you are my guardian. Let these words settle in your chest like warmth. Let them quiet the noise in your mind. Let them soften the tightness in your heart. Let them guide you into the kind of sleep that heals. You've been trying to carry too much on your own. Tonight, release it. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Not in the day, not in the night, not in waking, not in sleeping. Allah has always been watching over you. And this is where we begin to understand the beauty of divine protection. There is a kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix, a heaviness that doesn't lift with rest, a tightness in the chest that no deep breath can loosen. It's the exhaustion of carrying too much, of holding everything together, of trying to stay strong for too long, of pretending you're fine when you're quietly unraveling inside. Sometimes you don't even realize how heavy your heart has become until something tiny makes it overflow. A memory, a sentence, a pause, a moment of silence, and suddenly, everything you were holding inside feels like it's spilling out. The truth is simple, and yet we resist it. You were not created to carry every burden alone. Your mind isn't built to hold endless fear. Your heart isn't designed to store every sorrow. Your soul isn't meant to be a container for worry. Your shoulders were never meant to hold the whole world. There's a reason your chest tightens. There's a reason your heart races. There's a reason your thoughts feel heavy at night. It's because you're carrying what Allah never intended you to carry on your own, the illusion of strength. We live in a world that praises independence, a world that pushes you to do everything by yourself, a world that tells you, don't show weakness, don't ask for help, don't let anyone see you struggle, be strong, keep going, don't break. But this false strength has a cost, a silent, painful, lonely cost. Because real strength is not pretending to be okay. Real strength is not drowning quietly. Real strength is not carrying burdens that crush you. Real strength is knowing when to let go. Real strength is knowing who to turn to. Real strength is laying your burdens before Allah with trembling hands and saying, I can't do this without you. What a beautiful admission. What a sacred surrender. What a healing release. Allah never meant for you to hardship alone. Allah says, Allah does not burden a soul beyond what it can bear. This is not just a verse. It's a lifeline. It means your pain is known. Your limit is seen. Your breaking point is understood. It means Allah is aware of every pressure you feel, the one on your chest, the one on your mind, the one inside your heart. He knows exactly when the burden becomes too much. He knows when your knees begin to tremble. He knows when your patience feels thin. He knows when your tears come more easily. He knows when your steps slow down. And right at that moment, He invites you. Give it to me. Not because He doesn't already know, but because He wants you to feel the relief of letting go. You were not created to be a vessel of constant struggle. You were created to turn to Him when the weight becomes unbearable. The burden that breaks you is the burden you refuse to lay down. Have you ever held something heavy for too long? Your arms start to shake. Your muscles ache. Your grip weakens. Your body begs you to loosen your hold. Relief doesn't come from carrying longer. It comes from releasing. And the same is true with emotional burdens. The more tightly you hold your grief, the heavier it feels. The more you cling to fear, the more it consumes you. The more you carry regret, the more it wears down your spirit. The more you keep everything inside, the more your heart suffocates. Your soul is telling you something. Let go. Let Allah hold this for you. You don't have to understand everything. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to control every outcome. You don't have to solve every problem. You don't have to carry every sorrow. Allah is not asking you to be perfect. He is only asking you to trust Him. Surrender is not weakness, it is mercy. You may think letting go is losing. You may think surrendering makes you fragile. You may think releasing makes you irresponsible. But in truth, surrendering to Allah is one of the most powerful things you can do. Because surrender is not giving up. It is handing over your burden to the one who can actually carry it. The one who understands what you cannot describe. The one who sees what you hide. The one who knows what you fear. The one who controls what you cannot. The one who can turn any hardship into ease. The one who can replace sadness with peace. The one who can transform loss into blessing. When you say, Allah, I place this in your hands, you are not becoming weak. You are connecting to unlimited strength. You are transferring your burden from your fragile heart to Allah's infinite power. If you don't lay down your burdens, they will break you. There comes a moment when life demands honesty. Are you carrying too much? You can't keep pretending the weight doesn't affect you. You can't ignore the exhaustion that has seeped into your bones. You can't keep silencing the tears that sit right behind your eyes. You can't keep tightening your jaw, holding your breath, and saying, I'm fine, while your soul whispers, I'm not. Burdens break silently, not with loud cracks, but with quiet shattering deep inside. A believer's heart is not meant to be hardened by pressure. It is meant to be softened by surrender. Your heart cannot survive under endless weight. It will eventually collapse under the load. So before the burden breaks, you let Allah lift it from you. You don't have to carry the past. Some of your burdens come from events long gone, memories that still sting, mistakes you can't forgive yourself for, people who hurt you deeply, words that echo in your mind long after they were spoken, a version of yourself you've outgrown but haven't healed from. But Allah is the one who says, do not give despair a place in your heart. You are allowed to put down what is no longer yours to carry. You are allowed to forgive yourself. You are allowed to heal from what broke you. You are allowed to stop revisiting old wounds. You are allowed to outgrow who you used to be. You are allowed to walk away from what hurts your soul. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not imprison you. Your regrets do not own you. Allah forgives what you weep over. He repairs what you hand to Him. He heals what you release from your grip. You don't have to fear the future. Some of your burdens are fears of what hasn't even happened yet. What if I fail? What if things get worse? What if I'm alone? What if I lose everything? What if I'm not strong enough? What if tomorrow breaks me? Fear is a heavy burden, one that steals your peace before anything even goes wrong. But Allah reminds you, your future is already written. Your tomorrow is already protected. Your path is already guided. Your sustenance is already decreed. You don't have to carry fear of the unknown. Allah is already there. Allah is already preparing it. Allah is already protecting what you cannot see. You don't have to carry pain alone. Some burdens are simply pain, deep, raw, emotional pain, loss that still aches, loneliness that still hurts, longing that still burns, heartbreak that still bleeds. Pain like this is not light. It weighs down the chest. It clouds the mind. It steals sleep. It drains the soul. But pain becomes heavier when carried alone. Allah says, I am with the brokenhearted. If Allah Himself is telling you He is with you in your sorrow, why do you keep trying to handle it by yourself? Why do you hide your tears from the one who sees them? Why do you bury your feelings from the one who created them? Why do you push through the pain instead of handing it over? Let Allah comfort you. He is the best healer. He is the best listener. He is the gentlest protector. Tonight, release what you're holding. Tonight, before you sleep, take a moment to sit quietly. Place your hand on your chest. Feel the weight there. Acknowledge it. Recognize it. Name it if you can. Cry if you need to. Then, softly in your heart, say, Allah, I can't carry this anymore. I release it to you. I trust you with it. I surrender this burden to your mercy and let it go. Let the burden fall from your soul. Let the tightness loosen. Let your heart breathe again. Let the heaviness lift. Let your spirit soften. You do not need to enter sleep with a heavy chest. You do not need to wake up tomorrow with the same weight. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to let go. Allah is not just watching. He is guarding you. He is carrying you. He is caring for you in ways you cannot comprehend. Tonight, let Allah take what is too heavy for you. And this is where we begin to understand what it means to be held by the Most Merciful. The night carries a secret that most people never discover. It is not loud. It is not wrapped in thunder or lightning. It does not announce itself with signs in the sky. Night carries its secret quietly, softly, gently, the way mercy descends, unnoticed by those who are asleep to the unseen. And that secret is this: your dua at night rises faster than the tears that fall. Night is not just darkness. Night is invitation. Night is door. Night is healing in disguise. When the world sleeps, Allah calls. When the hearts grow heavy, Allah opens. When the tears rise, Allah responds. When you break inside, Allah descends with a nearness no day can match. The day belongs to movement, to work, to noise, to crowds, to people with 1,000 opinions and 1,000 distractions, to demands that suffocate the soul and deadlines that chase the mind. But the night belongs to the lonely, to the wounded, to the repentant, to the seekers, to the ones who tried all day to be strong, but could not carry their own heart. The night belongs to you, not because you deserve it, but because Allah never stops giving. And so, With the quieting of the world, Allah creates space for your voice, not your public voice, not your social voice, not your I'm fine voice, not your I must be strong voice, but the voice that trembles, the voice that cracks, the voice that whispers weakly, "My Lord, I can't keep carrying this." This is the voice that Allah honors the most, because it is true, raw, unmasked, undressed from ego, purified from pride, free of performance, the voice that comes only when no one else is watching. The night is the time when your soul finally becomes honest. And Allah, He responds to honesty faster than perfection. There is a moment between wakefulness and sleep, that tiny space where your heart remembers everything it tried to forget during the day. The unanswered questions, the conversations that broke you, the dreams you lost, the mistakes you wish you could erase, the sins you regret, the words you wish you could take back, the fears that keep you small, the hopes that feel too fragile to hold. In that moment, the soul whispers, and Allah listens. Because in the stillness of night, nothing stands between you and Him. Not people, not tasks, not work, not noise, not passing thoughts. Just your heart and its Creator. This is why the night holds a kind of mercy that the day cannot contain. The world sleeps, but the Lord of the worlds does not. Creation rests, but the one who sustains all creation never grows tired. And here is the beauty. Allah Himself invites you, not angels, not messages carried down, not signs left in the clouds. Allah calls you. He asks, "Who is calling upon me so I may answer? Who is asking from me so I may give? Who is seeking forgiveness so I may forgive?" Do you realize what this means? It means the doors you thought were closed were never closed. It means the heartbreak you thought was permanent was never permanent. It means the sorrow you thought was your destiny was never your destiny. It means the guilt you thought would drown you was only meant to purify you. It means the loneliness you felt was not abandonment, it was invitation. It means the silence you feared was not emptiness, it was sacred space. Because the night is not just the absence of sunlight. The night is the presence of divine nearness. There is a softness that comes only with late hours, when the mind slows down, when overthinking fades, when the noise of the world dissolves, when your chest unclenches little by little, when even your tears become tired. In that softness, dua becomes deeper, more honest, more tender, more real. Day dua often comes from the mind. Night dua comes from the heart. Day dua is wrapped in structure. Night dua is wrapped in vulnerability. Day dua contains what you want. Night dua contains who you are. This is why dua made at night rises so quickly, because it has nothing to hide behind. It is naked truth, held out in shaking hands. And Allah loves truth. He answers truth. He honors truth. He transforms truth into new beginnings. Think of the prophets, the ones who carried burdens larger than mountains. What healed them? What lifted the weight from their chests? What steadied them when their nations rejected them? What softened their grief, their wounds, their fears? It was the night. It was the whispering to Allah when no one else could hear. It was the tears no one else witnessed. It was the dua no one else knew they made. The prophets didn't rise during the day because they were strong. They rose during the day because they were broken at night in the right place in front of Allah. This is the secret of the night. Your strength is not built in daylight victories. Your strength is built in midnight surrender. Some souls only meet Allah through hardship. Some only turn to Him when everyone else leaves. Some only learn the sweetness of dua after tasting bitterness. Some only feel the softness of His mercy after their hearts shatter. And Allah, in His infinite gentleness, responds with the most tender of gifts. He gives you the night, a time when you can finally breathe, a time when you can finally release, a time when you can finally ask without shame, a time when you can finally speak without fear, a time when you can finally fall apart and know that you will not be judged. Because the night is not a courtroom. It is not a place of scrutiny. It is not a place where your flaws are written on the walls. The night is a sanctuary. It is the place where Allah meets His servants with mercy, not measurement, with forgiveness, not criticism, with gentleness, not anger. And so, the believer learns something profound. What you ask for in the night shapes what you walk into during the day. Your day receives from your night. Your strength in daylight is built in darkness. Your clarity in the morning is born in your midnight whispers. Your tawakkul during trials is rooted in your quiet conversations with Allah when everyone else is asleep. You may think nothing is changing, but the night is carving unseen paths for you. It is preparing ease you cannot yet perceive. It is unfolding mercy you have not yet reached. It is healing wounds you have forgotten how to touch. Your dua at night is not just a request. It is a seed planted in the unseen world. And every seed planted with sincerity grows in ways you cannot imagine. Consider this. If Allah responds to the cries of birds, to the rustle of leaves, to the shifting of clouds, to the whisper of wind, how then will He ignore the cry of a believer who calls upon Him in the depth of night? If He hears the footsteps of creatures you cannot see, if He hears the hum of atoms you cannot detect, if He hears the weeping of the sky itself, do you truly believe He will not hear you? Night dua is never lost, never ignored, never wasted, never forgotten. Every word you utter in the darkness becomes light in your destiny. So speak, even if your voice shakes, even if you stumble, even if your words feel clumsy, even if your heart feels numb, even if your tears refuse to fall, even if all you can manage is one sentence. My Lord, please help me. This is enough. A single genuine dua in the night can shift the weight of an entire lifetime. A single whispered prayer can move mountains you thought were immovable. A single tear can erase years of guilt. A single moment of softness can rewrite everything you thought was written in stone. The night was made for moments like this. And perhaps the most beautiful part is that you don't need to be perfect to call upon Him. You don't need to be righteous. You don't need to be consistent. You don't need to be sinless. You don't need to know beautiful words. You don't need to feel spiritual. You don't need to have everything sorted out. You only need a heart that needs Him. And every heart needs Him. Even the ones that pretend they don't. Even the ones that run. Even the ones that forget. Even the ones that sin. Even the ones that feel unworthy. So if the night finds you lost, come anyway. If the night finds you broken, come anyway. If the night finds you empty, come anyway. If the night finds you drowning, come anyway. If the night finds you exhausted, come anyway. If the night finds you guilty, come anyway. Because Allah does not respond to perfection. He responds to need. And the night is where need finally speaks. So lay your burdens down. Let the world sleep. Let the past rest. Let the fears fade. Let the thoughts slow. Let the heart soften and speak. The night is listening. The heavens are open. The response is near. The mercy is descending. The angels are recording. Your Lord is calling. And this is where we begin to understand the heart of the believer. There is a moment every night, just before sleep overtakes you, where the world grows quiet, your thoughts slow, your breath softens, your limbs grow heavy, your heart begins to ease its grip on whatever weighed it down during the day. And in that moment, when you begin to drift away from the world, you know into the world of dreams, you are not alone. You may think sleep is solitude. You may think unconsciousness means vulnerability. You may think the night is a time when everyone leaves you. But the truth is far more beautiful. When you sleep, angels take their place beside you. 2 angels assigned to you from the moment you entered the world. 2 witnesses to every heartbeat. 2 guardians who never grow tired. 2 protectors who never abandon their post. When your eyes close, theirs do not. When your body weakens, their vigilance strengthens. When you surrender consciousness, they remain fully awake. You are never unattended. You are never unguarded. You are never forgotten. Not for a single breath. Not for a single beat of your heart. Not for a single moment in the silent depth of night. Think of this. The angels who record your deeds switch shifts at the times of dawn and afternoon. They meet, they greet, they report, and then they take their positions again. But when night falls, something even more tender happens. The angels who watched you throughout the day do not leave you abruptly. They wait. They linger. They remain until they see your state, your peace, your sadness, your exhaustion, your vulnerability. And they gently hand you over to the angels of the night. Imagine this unseen exchange. Imagine the tenderness wrapped within it. Imagine the divine coordination that surrounds your sleep. One angel steps back. Another steps forward. Not a gap. Not a moment of emptiness. Not even a breath without guardianship. Because your Lord does not abandon you to the darkness. He places angels to watch over you in it. People think sleep is a small thing. They lie down, close their eyes, let their minds drift, and think nothing of it. But what is sleep? Truly, sleep is surrender. Sleep is vulnerability. Sleep is trust. When you sleep, you cannot defend yourself. You cannot protect your home. You cannot guard your heart. You cannot watch your back. You cannot think clearly. You cannot choose your dreams. You cannot escape whatever your mind summons. You are for hours completely helpless, and yet you sleep anyway, because Allah made sleep safe. He made it gentle. He made it restful. He made it healing. But most importantly, He placed angels to protect you while you are unconscious. This is not a small mercy. This is not a simple kindness. This is immense divine tenderness. It is Allah saying, "Rest. I am watching your soul. Lay down your burdens. I will guard you. Sleep. You are protected." There are layers to this protection, layers you rarely consider because they happen in a world unseen. While you sleep, angels guard your home. They guard your room. They guard your breath. They guard your body. They guard your mind as it drifts into dreams. They guard your soul as it rises and returns. Some sins prevent angels from entering a home, but when you purify your space, even a little, your home becomes a sanctuary for the unseen beings of light. And when the angels enter, peace enters with them. You may not see it. You may not feel it in the moment, but your heart knows. Your soul knows. Your sleep knows. There are nights when sleep feels heavy and disturbing because no peace surrounds you. There are other nights when sleep wraps around you like a blanket of mercy, gentle and healing, because angels filled every corner of your room. Your soul can feel the difference. Have you ever woken up with a calm you can't explain? As if something soothed you, though you cannot remember anything. As if a burden was lifted, though you didn't talk to anyone. As if you were protected from something you never saw. This is not coincidence. This is not random. This is the work of angels. Your sleep is not silent. Your sleep is a nighttime battlefield where angels shield you from unseen harm, where they deflect whispers you are too unconscious to resist, where they soften your dreams, where they guard your limbs, where they record your breath as acts of life, where they stand between you and the unseen dangers of the night. Yes, there are things you cannot see, but Allah did not leave you to face them alone. He placed angels at your side. And then there is another layer, one even more intimate. Angels pray for you while you sleep. They pray for your forgiveness. They pray for your protection. They pray for your mercy. They pray for your peace. They pray for blessings upon the one who sleeps, remembering Allah. They pray for light to enter your heart. They pray for calm to fill your chest. They pray for healing to unfold in your life. Imagine this. While the world forgets you, angels remember you. While people sleep in ignorance of your struggles, angels make dua for you. While your own mind rests, unable to form a single prayer, angels pray on your behalf. You may sleep silently, but the heavens speak your name. There is a special beauty in the way angels treat the believer. They do not leave you when you fail. They do not abandon you when you sin. They do not turn away when you are broken. They do not distance themselves when you are tired or lost. Angels stand with you simply because Allah commanded them to. Not because you are perfect, not because you are righteous, not because you are extraordinary, but because Allah honors the human being. He honors the soul He created. He honors the one who calls Him Lord. He honors the one who tries, even if they fail often. The angels do not love your perfection. They love your effort. They love your sincerity. They love your yearning for Allah. They love the part of you that still turns back to the one who made you. This is why they guard you so faithfully at night, because the soul of a believer is precious, more precious than any jewel on earth. Your protection is not random. Your guardianship is not coincidence. It is a sign of your worth in the sight of Allah. Sometimes you lie awake at night worrying about the world, worrying about your future, worrying about your mistakes, worrying about your family, worrying about your health, worrying about your emotional storms, worrying about your heart. And you think you are alone in your anxiety, but the angels hear your sighs. They see your tears. They witness your shaking hands. They watch the rise and fall of your chest as you try to calm yourself. They record your silent dua. They surround you with tranquility when your heart begins to panic. Even when no one understands, your pain angels understand. Even when no one sees your struggle, angels see. Even when no one knows the thoughts that haunt you, angels know. And when sleep finally overtakes you, they stand guard. There is a hadith that describes something breathtaking. When you sleep, your soul is returned to Allah. Not your body, not your mind, but your soul, the core of who you are, the real you, the eternal part of you. And Allah returns it to you in the morning. Do you realize what this means? Every morning is a second chance. Every morning is resurrection. Every morning is a renewal of your life contract. Every morning is mercy reaffirmed. Every morning is a statement from Allah. You are still wanted. You are still needed. You are still loved. You are still invited to come back to me. But between the moment your soul rises and the moment it returns, there is a space where angels accompany it. You do not travel alone. Your soul is never unaccompanied. Not for a breath, not for a heartbeat, not for a moment in the unseen. So the next time you go to sleep, do not lie down thinking you are entering darkness. Do not close your eyes thinking you are slipping into danger. Do not drift off thinking you are unprotected. You are stepping into a sanctuary watched over by angels. You are entering a realm where Allah's mercy surrounds you so closely that even your dreams are softened by it. You are placing your soul into the care of the one who created it. And you are watched, not by cameras, not by people, not by the world, but by beings made of light, who have never disobeyed Allah, who never tire, who never rest, who never fail in their duty to protect you. Is there any protection greater than this? Any comfort deeper? Any peace more real? Any mercy more intimate? Sleep, believer, not because life is easy, but because Allah made the night safe, and because angels stand guard over every breath you take. And this is where we begin to... There is a quiet terror in the mind of a person who worries. It starts small, like a shadow behind your thoughts. A single what if that grows unnoticed. A tiny knot in your chest that stretches through your ribs and settles around your heart. Worries are silent thieves. They do not announce themselves. They do not knock at the door. They slip in while your attention is elsewhere, and suddenly your soul feels heavier than it can bear. The world teaches you to fight worry with distraction, to think of something else, to busy yourself, to scroll, to scroll, to scroll, to act, to move, to distract, to force your mind to rest even when your heart refuses. But worry is not defeated by action. Worry is not cured by busyness. Worry is not eased by noise. Worry can only be healed by the one who holds the universe, the one who formed your heart, shaped your soul, and knows the weight of every thought you carry, the one whose hands are vast enough to hold everything you fear. This is the secret of relief. You are not alone in your worries. You are not abandoned to your thoughts. You are not chained to fear. Even when your mind whispers, "I cannot handle this," Allah whispers back in ways you cannot hear. "I am with you. I am holding it for you. I am carrying what is too heavy for you, the hands that never tire." Imagine your worries as stones, each one heavy, each one sharp. You try to carry them alone. You try to balance them on your shoulders. You try to keep walking. Your arms shake. Your back hurts. Your chest aches. Your mind races. And then, if you pause, if you truly pause, you remember. Allah's hands are stronger than any weight. Allah's hands are gentler than any touch. Allah's hands are wider than the world itself. You don't have to carry the stones yourself. You only need to place them in His hands. Let go of your grip. Release them completely. And here is the most miraculous thing. The moment you do, the stones begin to feel lighter. Not because they have shrunk, not because they have disappeared, but because the weight is no longer yours to bear. You have handed it to the one who created the universe. You have surrendered it to the one who will never grow tired, never forget, never drop what you gave him. The heart that trembles is heard. The trembling heart is not a weakness. It is a sign that your soul is alive, a sign that your spirit has not been hardened by trials, a sign that you are aware of your dependence on Allah. He does not need your strength. He does not need your perfection. He does not need your composure. He only needs your heart, even a trembling heart, even a broken heart, even a heart that fears too much. He is listening, and every fear you place before Him becomes lighter. Every worry you whisper into His presence becomes smaller. Every anxiety you hand over becomes a bridge to peace. You do not need to fix everything. You do not need to solve every problem. You do not need to know the outcome. You only need to reach out. You only need to trust. You only need to place your heart into the hands of the one who never fails, never sleeps, never forgets. Nighttime is an invitation. The night is a teacher. It shows you that silence is not emptiness, that darkness is not absence, that solitude is not loneliness. When the world sleeps, your worries do not. They linger, they whisper, they press against your chest. And this is when the night calls to you. Come. Come with your fears. Come with your grief. Come with your trembling. Come with your heaviness. I will take you to Him. The night is not punishment. It is invitation. It is an opportunity to step out of the noise of the world and into the presence of the most merciful. The night reminds you, nothing is too heavy for Allah. Nothing is beyond His care. Nothing is outside His control. Your heart can stop beating in panic. Your mind can race uncontrollably. Your chest can feel like it is suffocating. Yet Allah remains, still, watching, holding, protecting. The moment you hand it over, the moment you stop trying to manage everything, the moment you stop trying to control every outcome, the moment you stop spinning your wheels and admit, I cannot do this alone, is the moment relief begins. You place your worries in His hands. You lay down the burden on His lap. You surrender your anxiety to His care. You do not even need words sometimes. A silent thought, a quiet intention, a whispered prayer, I place it in your hands, is enough. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, peace begins to enter. It is soft at first, like a gentle breeze brushing your cheek, then steadier, like sunlight warming a chilled body, then stronger, like a river flowing through a parched land. Your chest begins to unclench. Your mind begins to quiet. Your heart begins to trust. Your soul begins to rest. You may not see the change immediately. You may not feel it fully in the first moment. But every step of surrender brings your heart closer to Him. Trust beyond understanding. Worry is the desire to know what you cannot know. Fear is the attempt to control what cannot be controlled. Anxiety is the resistance to letting go of what you are not meant to carry. And faith is the opposite. Faith is trusting without seeing. Faith is surrendering without fully understanding. Faith is placing your heart into hands far stronger, wiser, and kinder than your own. You do not need to understand how Allah will answer. You do not need to anticipate the outcome. You do not need to know the path. You only need to trust, to believe, to release, to place every worry, every burden, every doubt, every fear, every trembling heartbeat into His care. And this trust itself is a kind of relief, a deep, profound, unspoken comfort that begins in your soul and spreads to your body, your mind, and your life. He is closer than you think. When your thoughts race at night, remember, He is closer than your pulse. He is nearer than your heartbeat. He is beside you in the quiet. He is present in the shadows. He is watching your every breath, every blink, every sigh. No worry is too small. No fear is too great. No whisper too weak. And nothing escapes His notice. He is aware of every trembling moment in your soul. He sees every tear you have hidden. He hears every silent cry in the depth of night. Even if the world has failed you, even if people have hurt you, even if your own heart has failed you, Allah remains. He is unchanging. He is constant. He is never absent. He is never neglectful. And His hands are always open for you. The night as a healer. So when worry whispers and panic presses, when fear grips and the chest tightens, the night becomes your refuge. Lie down, close your eyes, take a deep breath, release. Imagine placing your troubles in a basket. Imagine handing that basket to Allah. Imagine it dissolving in His hands. The night holds you. The angels guard you. Your dua rises. Your heart softens. Even if the problems do not disappear immediately, even if the weight remains visible in the morning, you have taken the first step toward relief. Surrender. And surrender is the most sacred form of strength. It is not weakness. It is courage. It is trust. It is faith in action. It is an intimate conversation between your soul and your Creator. Tonight, lay your worries down. Tonight, as your head rests on your pillow, do not carry your worries into sleep. Do not drag your anxieties into dreams. Do not allow fear to shadow the night. Instead, whisper, "My Lord, I place this in your hands." Imagine your chest loosening. Imagine your mind quieting. Imagine your soul breathing again. Because the one who created your heart, who knows every tremble and every sigh, will not abandon it. And in that moment, you may feel a peace unlike anything you have felt all day. A softness that begins in your heart and spreads to every part of you. A gentle reminder, you are never alone, never unguarded, never forgotten. Even in the deepest darkness, His hands are there. Even in the heaviest fear, His mercy is present. Even when your mind races, His presence is near. Even when your heart trembles, His love holds it steady. And this is where we begin to understand the heart of the believer. Every night ends. Every darkness gives way to light. Every trial eventually passes, even if slowly. Every tear eventually dries, even if it takes time. And with the morning comes a gift, a gentle, quiet, miraculous gift. It is not just sunlight spilling across your room. It is not just the chirping of birds. It is not just the beginning of another day. The morning is a reminder that Allah has not abandoned you. A reminder that His mercy continues. A reminder that every night you survived was held in His care. You may wake tired. You may wake anxious. You may wake uncertain, but you wake. And waking is itself a blessing, a soft divine gift, a moment in which the past night, its worries, its trials, its prayers, is transformed into something sacred. Every morning is proof that you are still under His protection. Every sunrise is evidence that His mercy continues, unbroken. The heart that remembers. The believer wakes differently. Not because the world has changed overnight. Not because burdens vanish as soon as the sun rises, but because the heart remembers. It remembers the hands that held it during sleep. It remembers the angels who guarded it while unconscious. It remembers the whispers of dua it offered in the quiet night. It remembers the mercy that flowed silently into its soul. The heart of a believer does not forget these gifts. Even when worries return, even when problems reappear, even when fear whispers once again, the memory of mercy remains. It anchors the soul. It steadies the mind. It softens the chest. And this memory is what gives strength for the day. Not the absence of struggle, but the presence of hope. Not the absence of worry, but the knowledge of divine care. Morning as renewal. Every morning brings renewal. It is a second chance, not just in the world, but in the soul. The night was a teacher, showing you surrender and trust. The night was a healer, reminding you of the unseen protection surrounding you. The night was a witness, recording your whispered dua and trembling heart. And now the morning is the evidence of it. You may carry the same worries, the same burdens, the same challenges may await you. But now you rise with a new perspective. You have been held. You have been watched. You have been loved. You are not beginning the day alone. You are beginning it in the arms of one who never sleeps, never grows tired, and never forgets. The morning prayer of gratitude. There is power in gratitude. There is strength in recognition. There is healing in acknowledgement. When the believer wakes, the first words are often simple. Thank you, Lord, for life, for breath, for mercy. Even if the heart is heavy, even if the day feels daunting, even if the world is unkind, gratitude is a bridge between the night and the day. It connects the protection you felt in darkness to the opportunities awaiting you in light. The morning prayer of gratitude is not just words. It is intention. It is reflection. It is awareness. It is the recognition that the night was not wasted, that every tear, every whispered dua, every sigh, every trembling heartbeat was seen, held, and honored. And with this recognition, the believer steps into the day lighter, stronger, and filled with hope. Walking through the day, the world can be heavy. The day can be demanding. The hours can feel endless. But the believer walks differently. They walk, knowing that the same hands that held them in the night continue to hold them in the day. They walk, knowing that the same angels who guarded their sleep are now watching over their steps. They walk, knowing that the one who welcomed their vulnerability in darkness is present in their actions, words, and decisions. This awareness transforms the ordinary. It transforms the mundane. It transforms the painful and the difficult. Every step becomes an act of trust. Every breath becomes an acknowledgement of mercy. Every encounter becomes an opportunity to remember the unseen. Even when the world is harsh, The believer's heart can remain soft. Even when challenges arise, the soul can remain anchored. Even when fear presses, the spirit can remain steady. The cycle of mercy. The believer's day and night are not separate. They are part of a cycle of mercy. Night teaches surrender. Night teaches dua. Night teaches trust. Night teaches reliance on Allah. Morning teaches renewal. Morning teaches gratitude. Morning teaches hope. Morning teaches action in alignment with faith. The cycle continues. Evenings become gentle reminders of divine presence. Mornings become proof of divine faithfulness. The believer learns to navigate life through this rhythm, to find peace in darkness, to find hope in light, to find mercy in every breath, to find Allah in every moment. The strength of the heart. The heart is strongest not in control, not in mastery, not in certainty. The heart is strongest in surrender, in vulnerability, in trust. You may carry worries that never fully disappear. You may face challenges that seem unending. You may confront fears that resurface like waves. But the strength of the heart lies in its ability to return to Allah, to hand over burdens repeatedly, to trust again and again, even when the outcome is unknown. The believer's strength is quiet. It is patient. It is persistent. It is resilient. It does not announce itself. It does not boast. It simply endures. And in this quiet strength lies the peace that surpasses understanding. A reminder for today. If today feels heavy, remember, your night was not wasted. Your night was not ignored. Your night was filled with protection, dua, and unseen care. If your heart trembles, remember, He is closer than your heartbeat. He's watching, holding, and guarding. He's aware of every sigh, every tear, every unspoken plea. If you feel fear, remember, worry does not escape His notice. Burden does not exceed His strength. Anxiety is not stronger than His mercy. If you feel small, remember, the hands that shape the universe are holding you. The eyes that see all things are watching you. The mercy that surrounds all creation surrounds you. And if you can carry this awareness into your day, you will find that even ordinary moments become sacred. Even small breaths become acts of worship. Even quiet walks become reminders of divine care. Step lightly, trust deeply. Walk through today gently. Carry your heart softly. Trust deeply. Place every worry, every fear, every weight into the care of the one who never sleeps, never tires, never forgets. Remember the night that held you. Remember the angels who guarded you. Remember the dua that rose from your trembling heart. And step into the morning with courage. Step into the day with hope. Step into life with faith. Because no matter what comes, you are never alone. No matter what you face, you are always protected. No matter what you fear, mercy surrounds you. And this is where we begin to understand the heart of the believer. There are moments in life when the world feels unbearable. Moments when everything around you seems heavy, chaotic, or out of place. Moments when your chest feels tight, your thoughts spiral, and your heart longs for rest. In those moments, the mind searches for shelter. Some search in people, hoping for comfort. Some search in work, hoping for distraction. Some search in possessions, hoping for security. But true shelter is not found in the temporary. True shelter is not found in what can leave, break, or fade. True shelter is not found in anything outside of Allah. The heart of the believer knows this. The soul of the believer understands this. Even when fear comes, the believer turns inward to the place where Allah resides, and there, in His presence, the storm begins to calm, the winds of worry slow, the waves of anxiety soften, the heaviness of fear begins to lift. This is the refuge that no worldly shelter can provide, the quiet, unshakable peace of its nearness, the weight that is lifted. Have you ever noticed how physical burdens feel lighter when shared? A heavy load becomes manageable when someone strong lifts it with you. The believer's heart experiences the same truth spiritually. Every worry, every fear, every moment of doubt or trembling becomes lighter when placed in the hands of Allah. You may try to carry the weight alone. You may insist on managing everything yourself. You may believe that only your own strength can sustain you. But the moment you surrender, truly surrender to Him, something miraculous happens. The weight that seemed impossible to bear is lifted, not always removed, not always resolved, but lifted enough for the heart to breathe again. Even the heaviest burdens can feel manageable when held by the one whose strength never falters. The quiet power of trust. Trust is quiet. It does not shout. It does not demand attention. It does not boast. Yet its power is immense. Trust in Allah is like a tree whose roots run deep beneath the soil. No storm can uproot it. No wind can shake it. No drought can wither it. The believer places each worry, each fear, each trembling thought into the soil of that trust. And slowly, silently, it becomes a source of strength, a foundation, a sanctuary. Even when the world is loud and chaotic, the heart finds calm. Even when circumstances press hard, the soul finds ease. Even when fear whispers constantly, the spirit finds courage. This is the quiet power of trust. It steadies what cannot be steadied by anything else. The gift of stillness. In life, stillness is rare. We are constantly moving, planning, worrying, doing, thinking. But Allah invites the believer into stillness. The night calls the heart to pause. The prayer calls the soul to reflect. The moment of silence calls the mind to rest. Stillness is a gift, a sacred pause in which the heart can be held, a quiet space where worries dissolve, or at least shrink, a gentle refuge where the soul can remember the presence of Allah. When the heart is still, the believer realizes, I am not alone. I am not forgotten. I am protected. I am held. Even the tiniest moment of stillness can bring a depth of comfort no noise or activity can replace. The soul that leans. The soul of the believer leans often, not on people, not on circumstances, not on the fleeting stability of the world. It leans on Allah. It leans when life is difficult. It leans when sleep is elusive. It leans when worry presses. It leans when fear strikes. And in this leaning, the soul finds safety. It finds ease. It finds comfort. It finds a tenderness that cannot be matched by anyone or anything else. To lean on Allah is not weakness. It is a sign of awareness, a sign of humility, a sign of intimacy with the one who knows your heart. The believer leans because they know the one who created the soul is far more capable of carrying it than any human ever could. The unseen guidance. The guidance of Allah is often unseen, does not announce itself. It does not wave flags. It does not demand attention. Yet it is always present, always moving, always directing the heart toward peace, toward mercy, toward ease. Sometimes this guidance comes in dreams. Sometimes it comes in quiet whispers of intuition. Sometimes it comes through signs in the world. A gentle word, a kind gesture, a soft moment of clarity. The believer learns to recognize it, to follow it, to trust it, even when the path seems unclear, even when the way forward seems impossible, even when the mind cannot see the solution. The heart knows. The heart knows because the soul is connected to the one who guides. The mercy that never fails. Allah's mercy is infinite. It has no end. It has no limit. It has no conditions except His will and wisdom. The believer rests in this mercy. They rely on it when sleep is troubled. They trust it when life is uncertain. They hold on to it when fear threatens to overwhelm. Every act of surrender, every whispered prayer, every moment of trust is met with mercy. Even if you do not see it immediately, even if it comes in a form you do not expect, even if it takes time to arrive, mercy never fails. It is always present. It is always flowing. It is always reaching the heart that seeks it. And the believer is never outside of it, walking through the world with light. After nights of surrender and mornings of gratitude, the believer walks through the world differently. They carry light in their heart. They carry calm in their chest. They carry hope in their mind. They are not immune to worry. They are not untouched by struggle. They are not free from fear. But they walk knowing, even in the darkest moment, they are held. Even in the heaviest burden, they are protected. Even in the deepest fear, they are surrounded by mercy. This awareness transforms every step. It softens the harshness of life. It colors ordinary moments with peace. It turns ordinary interactions into reminders of divine care. The believer does not simply exist. They live with consciousness of the one who watches, guides, and protects. The invitation of today. Today, wherever you are, whatever you face, remember, you are never alone. You are never unguarded. You are never forgotten. Your worries, your fears, your burdens, they are seen, they are heard, they are known. And the one who sees, hears, and knows is stronger than anything you face. He is closer than your heartbeat. He is gentler than the softest touch. He is more aware of your needs than you are yourself. This is your invitation. Place your heart in His care. Place your fears in His hands. Place your soul in His protection. And walk through today with the quiet assurance that nothing can truly harm you while His mercy surrounds you. A heart anchored in presence. The believer's heart is anchored not in the fleeting, but in the eternal. It is anchored not in what can be lost, but in what cannot be taken away. It is anchored not in perfection, but in presence. Presence of Allah in the heart transforms everything. Fear becomes courage. Anxiety becomes calm. Doubt becomes trust. Loneliness becomes companion. And even when the world is loud, even when challenges press, even when the night seems long, the anchored heart remains steady, unshaken, and full of peace. This is the gift of faith. This is the reward of trust. This is the secret of living with a soul at ease in the midst of a world that is rarely at rest. Tonight, lay your heart down again. As evening returns and the cycle begins anew, remember, your heart has a place to rest. Your mind has a sanctuary of peace. Your soul has guardians who never tire. Lay down your worries, release your fears, surrender your burdens. Allow the night to be your teacher, your healer, and your companion. Allow angels to guard you. Allow mercy to surround you. Allow Allah's presence to cradle your heart. And when morning comes, awaken with gratitude. Walk through the day with trust. Carry hope in your chest. Because no matter the weight of the world, no matter the depth of fear, no matter the heaviness of the heart, His care is always there. His protection is always near. His mercy never ends. And this is where we begin to understand the heart of the believer. There is a peace that the world cannot give. There is a calm that no circumstance can destroy. There is a rest that even the busiest mind cannot create. This peace is not found in control. It is not found in achievement. It is not found in certainty. It is found in surrender. It is found in trust. It is found in placing every burden, every fear, every worry, every trembling heartbeat into the care of the one who never abandons, never tires, and never forgets. The believer knows this peace, even in hardship, even in sorrow, even in uncertainty. It is the kind of peace that flows quietly from the soul. It does not demand attention. It does not need to prove itself. It simply exists. And the heart that carries it becomes a sanctuary for itself, for others, and for the world. The weight that is no more. When the believer lays down their burdens, something remarkable happens. The weight does not disappear by magic. The challenges do not vanish. The fears do not immediately dissolve. But the heart changes. The soul changes. The way one carries life changes. The load becomes lighter. The steps become steadier. The mind becomes clearer. The chest becomes softer. Because the true weight was never meant to be carried alone. It was meant to be placed in hands stronger than your own. It was meant to be surrendered to a care that surpasses all human understanding. And once this surrender is made, the heart discovers a peace deeper than fear, stronger than worry, and more constant than the passing of time. The breath of trust. Each breath is a gift. Each moment of life is a gift. Each heartbeat is a reminder of presence. The believer breathes differently, not because the air is different, not because the world has changed, but because the heart has learned to trust. Trust in the one who created every breath. Trust in the one who knows every need. Trust in the one who never forgets, never neglects, and never abandons. With each breath, the believer says silently, I am held, I am seen, I am protected. And the soul begins to rest. Even if the world outside rages, even if fear presses hard, even if uncertainty looms, there is a center of calm that cannot be shaken. This is the breath of trust, a rhythm of surrender, a pulse of peace, a cadence of divine care. The light within darkness, even in the deepest night, even in the heaviest storm, there is light. Even when the world seems cruel, even when the heart trembles, there is mercy. Even when you feel alone, even when fear whispers relentlessly, there is guidance. The believer carries this light within them. It is small at first, almost imperceptible, a quiet glow that flickers, hesitant and gentle. But as the heart surrenders, as the soul trusts, as the dew rises, the light grows stronger. It brightens the darkest corners. It softens the hardest thoughts. It illuminates the path that seems impossible to see. This light is the presence of Allah in the heart. It is unseen by others. It cannot be measured. It is quiet, yet unstoppable. And it will guide the believer through every challenge, every fear, every burden. The strength and vulnerability. To surrender is not weakness. To trust is not ignorance. To place every worry in His hands is not failure. It is courage. It is wisdom. It is faith in its purest form. The believer learns that strength is not measured by how much you can carry alone. Strength is measured by how deeply you can trust. Strength is measured by how openly you can surrender. Strength is measured by the capacity of your heart to rely on mercy. Vulnerability becomes a source of power. The trembling heart becomes a sign of awareness. The anxious mind becomes a doorway to faith. And the believer, in their surrender, discovers a strength far greater than they ever imagined. The circle of mercy. Every night, the believer surrenders. Every morning, the believer awakens with gratitude. Every moment of the day, the believer walks with trust. This creates a circle of mercy, a rhythm of divine care, a pattern of peace that shapes the soul. The cycle repeats. The night invites trust. The morning invites renewal. The day invites presence. And with each repetition, the believer's heart grows softer, their soul grows steadier, and their life becomes a living testament to mercy. No storm can break this rhythm. No fear can disrupt this cycle. No weight can overpower the heart that has learned to rely on Him. This is the eternal embrace of peace, the peace of a heart anchored in divine care, carrying peace into the world. The believer's peace is not for themselves alone. It is a gift that flows outward, a ripple in a pond, growing wider with every act of trust, kindness, and faith. Peace carried within the heart touches others. Even without words, it is felt. Even without explanation, it is seen. Even without intention, it spreads. The believer becomes a beacon, not because they are perfect, but because they are surrendered. Not because they are free from fear, but because they know where to place it. Not because their world is free from challenges, but because their heart is free from being crushed by them. Peace becomes contagious. Hope becomes visible. Faith becomes a quiet guide for all who observe. A life of surrender. To live with peace is to live in surrender. To carry hope is to carry trust. To walk with courage is to walk with faith. The believer learns life is not meant to be controlled. Life is not meant to be mastered. Life is not meant to be feared. Life is meant to be placed in the care of the one who knows it better than we ever could. Every trial, every fear, every anxious thought is a reminder of this truth. You are not alone. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. The one who holds your heart also holds the world. The one who watches your fear also watches the sunrise. The one who carries your worry also carries the universe. And in this knowledge, the believer walks with peace, carrying mercy, radiating hope, and trusting deeply in the one who never fails. Tonight, rest in Him. As the day ends and the night returns, remember, your burdens are not yours alone. Your fears are not yours to manage alone. Your heart does not need to carry what it cannot bear. Lay it down. Hand it over. Whisper your dua even if silently. Close your eyes and feel the comfort of being held. Feel the protection that never fades. Feel the mercy that never ends. Even if the world is harsh, even if challenges remain, even if fear returns, you are never alone. Even if you cannot see the solution, you are never unprotected. Even if your heart trembles, you are always loved. And this is where we understand the heart of the believer. Tonight, as sleep carries you gently into the night, know that peace is not a distant dream. It is here. It is now. It is the embrace of the one who never sleeps, never tires, and never abandons. Surrender, trust, rest. And in this surrender, discover the eternal peace that belongs to the heart that trusts. There is a peace that the world cannot